Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am the Fatima Toure. If you are new here, welcome. This is the home for all girl bosses who are conquering not only their businesses and their brands, but they're also living their lives. So today I have a story time for you guys. We are talking about my pop-up shop experience from hell, and I mean that literally, okay? So you're not going to want to miss this. If you think that this is something you're going to enjoy, please hit that like button. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell, and let's get started.
If I'm shining, everybody gonna shine. Yeah, I'm gold. I was born like this, don't even gotta try. Now you know.
So I launched MOUSSOUBEAUTY last April 2019, and I was, just very happy with the way the launch happened. I was very happy with just the support that I was getting for people. So you have to imagine that when I got an email in July about doing this women's empowerment brunch, I was geeked, okay? I was excited. I was like, yes, my first pop-up shop opportunity. Like, someone has seen my brand and loved my brand and wants me to come and represent my brand at their event. And it was a women's empowerment event, so I'm just like, I'm definitely in there, okay? I'm coming, and I'm coming correct. So I, without any hesitation, I agreed. I said, okay, yes, I'm going to do this pop-up shop, and I'm going to bring all of my stuff. I'm going to sell my stuff at a discounted rate. Like, I was just so excited that I was just doing it, like just doing the most. And the lady that reached out to me, she was very polite, she was very professional. She had told me that she had got my contact from someone who knows me and thought that I would be a great fit for the event. So I never asked who the person was, and I kind of want to know now. So if you're watching, let me know so we could really talk about it. But so I was excited. I agreed to do it, and there was a $75 vendor's fee. Now, I was aware of vendor fees because I've known people who've done pop-up shops before who have told me about vendor fees. Like, that is something that just comes with the territory most of the time, and it's kind of like they're allowing you the opportunity to sell your products and make a profit, and you're using the space that they've rented out. So to me, it made sense, and $75 for me at the time wasn't too much of an expense. So I was like, why not? And then on top of everything, like I said, I was excited. So for me, it was like $75, $100 or $175. I probably still would have did it. That's how excited I was. So I agreed to it. She gave me all the details as far as she gave me. I didn't ask any extra questions. I just read everything off of the doc that she sent me. So the day comes, I'm already prepped up. I have butters for days ready. I have promotional material. I have little bags that the butters are going in. I've already rehearsed my little spiel as I was beating my face. Like, this is what I'm gonna say when customers do X, Y, and Z. In my head, I already had how everything was going to be laid out. I had all of that figured out, okay? I was ready. No one was I was ready. So now I get dressed, I look cute. I had me a cute little what is it called? I had a cute little frontal lace, and the baby hairs was on fleek at the time and everything. And like I said, it was July of last year, so it was hot outside, and I didn't think about how hot it was outside because I was just really amped about being able to go do this pop-up shop. My hair was done, my outfit was cute, and I had on cute heels. It was a women's empowerment event, so I needed to dress the part. So I felt cute, my supplies was ready, and it was time to go. That was the first time that I looked at the actual address, and I seen that it wasn't in Manhattan. And I don't know why, but I'd be thinking that all events in New York City are in Manhattan until I'm pleasantly surprised. So that was the first time I looked at the address, and I seen it was in Brooklyn. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I had to take a cab. I couldn't get a ride that day, so I ended up taking a cab, and the cab was kind of steep, and I was like, oh, okay. But in my head still, I'm thinking this is gonna be such a successful day that it doesn't even matter if the cab is $80. I'm gonna be fine. It wasn't $80. It was more like 65-ish, but that's still a lot. You know, I just paid $75 to vend and now 65 to go. So imagine coming back what it was going to be. So, but either way, I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was just more so like, let me get out there, let me show people my stuff so people can fall in love with it. So I get there, and mind you, I had a lot of stuff and it was just me. So I had like a big Amazon, oh my god, it's time to pray. I'll be back, guys. So when I get there now, I'm by myself. The cab driver leaves me like outside, and I didn't even really know where I was at. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, it's in some type of community center, banquet hall, restaurant-ish kind of thing. I didn't think it was going to be in a residence hall, like where people lived. So me and the cab driver was looking for the building number before he dropped me off, and the building numbers were written so small that you couldn't even really see it. So when we finally did see it, I'm like, it's no way it can be. This looks like somebody's, like, people's apartments. Like, they just cannot be this. So he's like, yeah, well, this is the address. And you know, Ubers, they're kind of like, well, I got you to your place, I gotta go about my business. So I'm not in the fashion of holding people up. So I said, okay, sir, I'm just gonna get my stuff. That's the first time I realized how much things I had. So I had a big duffel bag, and I had like just the promotional material, the things that were going to go on the table, the decorations, and because like I told you, I was about to go all out. So I had a bunch of stuff in the duffel bag, and then I had all the butters in a Amazon brown box, right? And then I had extra butters in like a pink organizer that I have. And then I also had like my laptop, I also had my iPad, I just had a lot of stuff, okay? And I had on heels, and I had no help. So now here I am with all of this stuff, juggling, walking to what I think is the place, and the door was kind of locked, but I could see a security guard or whatever sitting there, but he wasn't about to get up to open the door for me. So then I seen women who were dressed looking like they were coming to the event, so I just started following them. Come to find out, it was like another door. I ended up going up that door. So I went to the security guard that sat there and watched me at the door, and I said, hi sir, good afternoon. I was sitting there, you could have helped me, but no, I didn't say that. So I just was like, you know, polite me, and I was just like, hey, good afternoon, I'm here for a pop-up shop, and I would like for you to, you know, show me where to go. And he was like, oh, take the elevator all the way up. I said, all the way up? He was like, all the way up. I'm like, oh, they must have gotten like, you know, they might have like a banquet hall, penthouse, okay. But no, I get upstairs all the way up like he said, and it was on the roof, and I was kind of like, okay, it's like 90 degrees outside, and we were on the roof, and I kind of was just like, is this where it's going to be? Like I still had, like, I had questions, and I'm just like, first I didn't know that it was in Brooklyn, and that was my fault. Then I didn't know that it was on a roof. The whole time I was getting the vibe that it was in like some type of community center. So then I go and I see the woman who reached out to me. She was very polite, she was very nice. And disclaimer, this is not a video to come at the people who threw the event, because they were gracious. The event was beautiful, okay? This is just a bad experience for me, and I'll explain to you why as we go on. So anyway, so I see the lady who reached out to me, and she, you know, is kind of like, you know, flustered, but she did stop. She did, well, like, she did greet me, and then she pointed me to another lady who was going to assist all the vendors. So the lady then pointed me to my table where I was going to be sitting at, and where I was going to be vending at. And come to find out, I was going to be sharing a table with someone else, and I was a little confused because I was told that I was going to get a full table. So I kind of asked her, I said, well, I was told that I was going to get a full table. She's like, yeah, well, we ran out of tables, so right now this is all we can do. And she kind of like was like, yeah, like, that's it. And I was just like, and anyone who knows me knows that, like, I'm not overtly rude. Like, yeah, I have a smart mouth, and yeah, I could be sarcastic, but I'm never like that in a person's face, you know? So I kind of was just like sitting there with the dumb face on, and I was just like, how is this about to work? Another lady who was vending was also just as confused. Like, I have half a table, you have half a table, and I'm like, yeah, I guess, girl, I guess that's what we gonna do. So we ended up really doing so. Like, I had half of my stuff on one side and she had half of her stuff on the other side, and it worked out a little bit because she was selling like hair products, so we were both doing like natural products. So the theme was fine. However, when people did start coming to the tables, they thought we were one brand, and that wasn't a terrible thing, but it also was kind of annoying because I'm sure that she wanted to be able to showcase her stuff alone, and I wanted the same. So anyway, we set up our tables, and now we're kind of like okay, but like I said, it's 90 degrees outside, so I'm baking, I am hot. My little cute front tool that I told you about, sliding back, I am like just a hot mess, and I'm not one to sweat, but that day, girl, I was like drenched. It was bad. So I'm over it. I'm over the heat. Like, I'm just over my hair. I was just over everything. I was over the fact that I was on the roof sharing half of a table. So now when I'm thinking it can't get any worse, I go and I check my butters, you know, just to start putting them on the table to set up the table. I open the butters and I'm like, before I even opened it, it's hot. I'm like, oh, yeah, this sun is too much. But then it dawned on me, I have natural products. It is hot. They have melted. I opened my butters up, my whipped creamy body butters. Like my whipped creamy body butters were like melted to the point where they looked like oil. I was so upset. I was so mad. At that point, I was so mad because I felt like I can't sell this. I can't promote this. I just can't. And it's like, in that moment, I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry because I'm one of those people, when it just becomes too much, I just resort to tears. So I just, like, me and the girl that I was sharing the table with, we just like started brainstorming, like, all right, what can we do? So we asked for ice. So they were able to give us ice. The people who was hosting the event, they gave us ice, and now we have the ice, and we're just trying to like do our best to make sure that we can preserve some of the products, because not all of my butters melted, just the ones that was like really in the sun, like really on top of the box. So I was able to preserve some, but it was just it was a ghetto hot mess. Okay, it was ghetto. Like, when people were coming to my table, it's like I had to take the butter out of the ice cooler as if it was like a Seagram or something, and I had to like tap it down with like a Bounty wipe and then put it. It was a hot mess. Okay, it's just hot mess, and I wasn't happy about it. I was not happy about it. And then you know, I still for some reason was still smiling that day, even though I was not happy about what was going on. Because for me, I was just thinking more so like, yo, this is ghetto. Like, this looks so bad for me, this looks so bad for Moussou Beauty. But I was just also kind of thinking like, a lot of this it could have been preventable. A lot of this was my fault. So before I even get into like why it was my fault and why it was preventable, even though you may know, I would say that like there was a lot of people who came to my table who were engaged in my products, who were trying it. There were people who brought it. Did I make my money back? No, I did not. I paid $75, like I said, to vend. I made 7 sales that day, so I made $70. So I did not make my initial money back. I didn't make the money back for the cabs. I didn't make the money back for the promotional material and the things that I brought specifically for the pop-up shop. So I definitely lost money, and I wasn't happy about that. But I wasn't totally pissed. I was more totally pissed that my products was like, you know, melted. But I wasn't pissed about not making my money back. I think for me, it was okay to see that people were still, you know, like taking cards. Like, you know what, I understand you can't really sell a lot of your stuff, but I'll take your card and I'll just order online. So that made me feel good. I will also say that like the event itself was a beautiful event. Like, it really was a women's empowerment event. They had guest speakers, like notable guest speakers, and they, you know, the food was the bomb, I ain't gonna lie. And like, you know, the music was good, the vibe was good. The women who were there were dressed beautifully. They were all nice. It was just really a sisterly vibe. It just wasn't the best opportunity for a small business owner like me to be vending at. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I think that this was a lot to do with me and it being my fault, and things that you can prevent in the future when you have a pop-up shop, and the things that you should look out for. So for the first thing, I was so excited about actually being able to vend that I didn't realize that this wasn't necessarily a pop-up shop. It was more so of a vending opportunity. So what I've learned is that a vending opportunity is just the opportunity to vend at an event, but that event doesn't mean, or the sole purpose of that event isn't for people to sell their products or to promote their business. It's for a different purpose, and they want to have vendors in addition to the other things that they're having. So the audience that is coming to that event, that so-called event, are not coming with the intentions on buying. They're coming on the intentions of whatever the event was. So i.e. in this situation, people were coming to eat brunch, people were coming to network, people were coming to feel motivated by other women. They weren't necessarily coming and trying to buy Moussou Beauty, and that's something that I did not understand. So a pop-up shop is designated and created to allow business owners to sell their products. So people that's coming to a pop-up shop are expecting to buy stuff, and you can expect more sales because that's what the people that are entering that event are coming with the intentions on doing. So that was the one thing that I didn't really have a lot of knowledge on, and I just jumped at it because I'm like, it's my first time to like showcase my products outside of online. So I should have definitely did more research, and that could have started with more questions. Me not knowing the address or where the event was going to actually take place could have saved me actually doing the event. If I would have asked the question, where exactly is this event going to be, I would have known that it was going to be on a roof. I would have known in July that's not the best place for someone with natural skincare products to have an event. So you know what, if you have something in the future that is indoors, please sign me up. That is something that I could have communicated to the woman who reached out to me if I would have asked the correct questions. So you always want to make sure that you're asking questions, especially if you have products or you're selling something that requires, like it has a little high maintenance to it, and you need to make sure you're able to preserve your products, or it's in the best interest of your brand. Another thing was, I did not think about the fact that what if my products melted. Even if the event was indoors, I need to always have a plan for things of the sort, because a lot of the time, especially in the summertime when pop-up shops and things like that do take place, a lot of them are outdoors. So finding a way to be able to preserve my products, whether or not that is buying a ice box and putting my products in it, that could have been something that I thought about. Or I could have just maybe got a tent, or just thinking about it just made me think about future situations, because the truth is eventually I will have to do a pop-up shop, God willing, outside, and I am going to be faced with heat. So I do have to have a plan for that. So it's just making sure that you have all your boxes checked off for the things that you need, just in case something bad happens. So that pop-up shop really did teach me a lot, and yes, I was tight. I didn't make my money back, but I was more tight that I was more upset that my products melted and my wig was sliding back, you know. So that's just my experience, and you know, I laughed it off at the end because it could have been 10 times worse. You know, I still went to a great event with great women with a great purpose, and the food was great, okay? But you know, I could have avoided the situation, and I just wanted to share my story. So if this can help you prevent this happening to you with your small business, then job well done for me. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. We have so much more coming, and I don't want you to miss it. But don't just subscribe, hit the bell, and make sure you like this video. Give me a thumbs up, drop some comments. What are some experiences you've had? What do you think I could have also done differently? Let me know. Talk to me so I can talk to you, okay? Bye guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check out my other videos if you have not yet. They're great.
So you know, heard you say I'm not the baddest bitch you got.
Oh, car. Ooh,